In a world where science and spirituality are often at odds, a question intriguing arises. What if the mind was not confined to the brain, but just like electromagnetic fields extended beyond our body, interacting with the environment around us? Imagine an invisible energy field that connects all things in the universe, influencing not only our perception, but also reality itself to achieve a new understanding of the mind and reality. We must question traditional beliefs and introduce revolutionary concepts that could transform our perception of the world and of ourselves. For a long time, it was believed that the mind was only a function of the brain. However, new theories challenged this traditional view. And, just as magnetic fields extend beyond magnets, our minds could extend beyond the physical body. Imagine for a moment that our consciousness and our thoughts can influence and shape our reality. Rupert Sheldrake, one of the main defenders of this broader vision, proposes that the mind is not only a byproduct of the brain, but it extends beyond it, influencing the environment around us in subtle, yet powerful ways. Imagine, for example, the feeling of being observed. Have you ever felt someone's gaze on you, without even seeing the person who is watching you? This common experience suggests that what is happening, something more than just brain activity. According to Sheldrake, our mind could extend an energy field, which projects outwards by emitting and receiving signals, like a radio transmitter. This mental field could explain many phenomena, which until now have remained a mystery to traditional science. Just like a magnet creates an invisible field that affects objects around it, our mind could create a mental field capable of influencing other people, objects, and even reality itself, allowing us to alter the course of events in subtle but significant ways. In the 19th century, Michael Faraday introduced the concept of electric and magnetic fields. He demonstrated that these invisible forces operate at a distance and influence objects without direct physical contact. Einstein later developed this idea with his theory of general relativity, which describes the gravitational field. These fields are invisible, but their effects are undeniable and omnipresent. Herschel Drake takes this idea further by suggesting that our minds work in a similar way. Just as magnetic fields extend beyond magnets and gravitational fields beyond the planets, mental fields extend beyond magnets and gravitational fields beyond the planets. Mental fields extend beyond the brain. They interact with the environment and can even influence other minds. Sheldrake proposed the morphic fields hypothesis, suggesting that the shape and behavior of organisms are influenced by invisible fields that extend beyond space and time. They think that these fields contain a kind of collective memory which guides the development and behavior of living beings. According to him, each type of organism has a collective memory field called a morphic field or morphic resonance. This field contains information on shapes, behaviors, and the learnings, hence the members of this species accumulated over time. Morphic resonance suggests that through these fields, organisms can share information between them in a way that transcends traditional communication. In everyday life, morphic resonance can be observed in phenomena such as learning and the transmission of behaviors. An intriguing example is the study of birds, known as blue tits, which have learned in the 1920s to open bottles left on doorsteps in England. Once this behavior has been learned by some birds, it quickly spread to other parts of the country, even in places where there was no direct contact between birds, which suggests a sort of collective memory. Morphic resonance offers a vision of the world where all living things are interconnected in a vast field of shared information and memories. This perspective can inspire to create a more harmonious society and conscious where knowledge and wisdom are shared for the good of all. Think about the energy field that exists around us. The electromagnetic fields of our cell phones, for example, extend invisibly and connect us to a vast network of information. Similarly, Sheldrake proposes that our thoughts and intentions create mental fields which could explain phenomena such as telepathy, the sensation of being observed, and other experiments that conventional science has not yet fully explained. Experiences that conventional science has not yet fully explained. The field concept also finds support in other scientific fields. Studies in quantum physics suggest that subatomic particles can influence each other at greater distances than classical physics would allow. These mysterious phenomena show us that the universe is more interconnected than we imagined. Applying this understanding to mental fields opens a new horizon of possibilities for the science of the mind. If our minds can actually influence the world around us, how can we use this knowledge to improve our lives? We could learn to project positive intentions, to heal from a distance, or even to alter reality in a way that benefits everyone. In the 18th century, Francis Mesmer proposed that an invisible energy field, which he called animal magnetism, circulated among all living beings and could be manipulated to promote healing. They believed that imbalances in this field were the cause of many illnesses, and that by adjusting this field, health could be restored. Although Mesmer's ideas were met with skepticism and ultimately discredited by conventional science, they set a precedent for the exploration of invisible energy fields which could influence the body and mind. Have you ever had the feeling of being watched? In experiments conducted by Sheldrake, it has been proven that people can sense when they are being observed at a much higher rate than chance, suggesting that a field of mental energy projects outwards. Mental energy projects outwards. Mesmer believed that energy flowed through the eyes and could influence others. The phenomenon, documented and reproduced in various studies, is called scopesthesia. It suggests that our minds can expand beyond the physical body by detecting the presence and attention of others. Visual perception is one of the most fascinating and complex processes in the human mind. There are two main theories about how we see the world: the theory of intromission and the theory of extromission. The theory of intromission, widely accepted in modern science, suggests that images enter the eyes and are processed in the brain to train visual perception. Although this explanation is widely accepted, it does not fully address the subjective experience of seeing the world around us, which seems to be outside of our heads rather than inside. On the other hand, the theory of extromission, our head rather than inside. On the other hand, the extromission theory suggests that in addition to light entering the eyes, the mind projects images outward, creating a perception that corresponds to where the objects actually are. This idea dates back to ancient Greek philosophers and was observed in studies of development, led by Jean-Pierre. Young children often assume that their visual perceptions are projected toward the outside, which suggests a natural intuition for the theory of extromission. If the mind does indeed project images outward, this could explain why we see the world as something outside us. Traditionally, consciousness has been considered a byproduct of the brain's electrochemical activities. All in all, if we consider that the mind extends beyond the brain, this brings us to a new perspective where consciousness interacts directly with the environment. This mental energy field could influence not only our own thoughts and emotions, but also the objects and people around us. Recognize our mind's ability to expand and interact with the physical world could lead to new ways of exploring the relationship between the mind, the brain, and the external environment. This could include practices beyond meditation and mindfulness, integrating techniques to project intentions and influence reality in a more direct and conscious way. For example, telepathy. Distance, healing, and other psychic abilities could not be considered as paranormal phenomena, but as natural extensions of human capabilities. The idea of an expanded mind also suggests a fundamental interconnection between all living things. If our minds can interact through energy fields, then each individual is in some way connected to others. This interconnection could explain not only telepathy and the feeling of being observed, but also phenomena such as the placebo effect, where belief and intention can bring about real changes in physical health. This holistic view of mind and consciousness could lead us to a more integrated and cooperative approach, science, health, and life in general. Additionally, this perspective could change the way we understand development and learning. If morphic fields influence memory and behavior, as Sheldrake suggests, then the past experiences of individuals and groups could be accessed and influenced in new and unexpected ways. Education and training could benefit from exploring these areas, which would enable more efficient and intuitive learning methods. Finally, accept the expanded mind as a reality could transform our approach to global problems. Issues such as world peace, social justice, and environmental sustainability could be considered through the prism of mental interconnection. By recognizing that our thoughts and intentions can influence the world, we could work collectively to create a more harmonious and balanced reality. This innovative approach could be the key to solving some of humanity's most pressing challenges. If our minds are indeed energy fields that expand and interact with the world, then we have untapped power to shape our reality. We can begin to see the world not as a collection of separate objects, but as an interconnected field of energy and consciousness, where every thought and action has a meaningful impact. This perspective not only enriches our understanding of the universe, but provides us also tools for living more consciously and intentionally. Finally, we leave you with a question for thought. What if the reality we perceive was only the visible part from the iceberg? If our thoughts and intentions could truly shape the reality that surrounds us, what would be the true potential of our minds? And this next video talks about it exactly. If this video made sense to you, write in the comments. It seemed logical to me.